progress. Over the next few days, robust deliberations, high-level dialogues, strategic partnerships, and transformative conversations will take center stage and redefine the trajectory of Afro-Caribbean relations for generations to come.
Thank you for believing in the concept that not many people believe in. Last year, on the first day, I said to everyone, welcome to the beginning of your future. Today, I'm proud to say that we're in that future. Though our tongues may differ, our rhythm is the same, our vision is the same, and our voice is one. Welcome once again, and we absolutely look forward to connecting with you and everyone else this week. Thank you.
Yep. Get the shiny vision. So good to me. That's good. Yeah. Can you help me say thank you? Now can you help me say thank you? Yeah. Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you for not giving up on me.
For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. For your belief in me. And for your belief in you.
So baby, right on time. Anything you need, I'll be right on time. Give you everything, even my last dime. If I got it, you got it, we gon' be fine. Oh, pray for better days. Like Mr. Garvey, we keep the faith. Eyes on Zion, no time to wait. Don't say please, just let me hear you say thank you. Thank you. Like can you let me say thank you? on me. For not giving up. For not giving up on you. For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. I wanna say thank you. Lord, can you hear me say thank you? Hey, 'cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on us. Yes. For not giving up on us. I wanna say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you. For not giving up on me. You. For not giving up on me. Thank you.
Starting a business is exciting, but turning it into a success can be tough.
We have the ideas and the passion, but what about the financial know-how?
That's why the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship created the Building Bankable Businesses program to help us develop financial skills and to get loan ready.
Wait, so you're saying this program can actually help me get a loan?
Yes, it gives us the knowledge to strengthen our business and an alternative pathway to qualify for National Bank's small business loans.
So you mean I won't just be walking into the bank hoping for the best?
Of course not. You'll be prepared, confident, and know exactly what's required.
Thanks to the Building Bankable Business Financial Literacy Program, I finally understand what my business needs to grow.
Now I know how to plan, manage, and position myself for success.
Take control of your business's future with the Building Bankable Businesses program.
Opportunities like this don't come every day. Don't let it pass you by.
Together, the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship and the St. Kitts Nevis and Anguilla National Bank are your trusted partners in building bridges to financial solutions.
Now have the ability to create playlists inside of IGC.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, very distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor it is to warmly welcome you, distinguished diplomats, captains of industry, visionary entrepreneurs, and all stakeholders committed to Afro-Caribbean progress. Over the next few days, robust deliberations, high-level dialogues, strategic partnerships, and transformative conversations will take center stage and redefine the trajectory of Afro-Caribbean relations for generations to come.
Thank you for believing in the concept that not many people believe in. Last year, on the first day, I said to everyone, welcome to the beginning of your future. Today, I'm proud to say that we're in that future. Though our tongues may differ, our rhythm is the same. Our vision is the same. And our voice is one. Welcome once again and we absolutely look forward to connecting with you and everyone else this week. Thank you.
Yep. Get the shiny vision. So good to me. That's good. Yeah. Can you help me say thank you? Now can you help me say thank you? Yeah. Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you for not giving up on me.
For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. For your belief in me. And for your belief in you.
So baby, right on time. Anything you need, I'll be right on time. Give you everything, even my last dime. If I got it, you got it, we gon' be fine. Oh, pray for better days. Like Mr. Garvey, we keep the faith. Eyes on Zion, no time to wait. Don't say please, just let me hear you say thank you. Thank you. Now can you let me say thank you? Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. For not giving up on me. For not giving up. For not giving up on you. For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. I wanna say thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me say thank you?
Starting a business is exciting, but turning it into a success can be tough.
We have the ideas and the passion, but what about the financial know-how?
That's why the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship created the Building Bankable Businesses program to help us develop financial skills and to get loan ready.
Wait, so you're saying this program can actually help me get a loan?
Yes, it gives us the knowledge to strengthen our business and an alternative pathway to qualify for National Bank's small business loans.
So you mean I won't just be walking into the bank hoping for the best?
Of course not. You'll be prepared, confident, and know exactly what's required.
Thanks to the Building Bankable Business Financial Literacy Program, I finally understand what my business needs to grow.
Now I know how to plan, manage, and position myself for success.
Take control of your business's future with the Building Bankable Businesses program.
Opportunities like this don't come every day. Don't let it pass you by.
Together, the Ministry of Small Business and Entrepreneurship and the St. Kitts Nevis and Gwilla National Bank are your trusted partners in building bridges to financial solutions.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, very distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor it is to warmly welcome you, distinguished diplomats, captains of industry, visionary entrepreneurs, and all stakeholders committed to Afro-Caribbean progress. Over the next few days, robust deliberations, high-level dialogues, strategic partnerships, and transformative conversations will take center stage and redefine the trajectory of Afro-Caribbean relations for generations to come.
Thank you for believing in the concept that not many people believe in. Last year, on the first day, I said to everyone, welcome to the beginning of your future. Today, I'm proud to say that we're in that future. Though our tongues may differ, our rhythm is the same. Our vision is the same. And our voice is one. Welcome once again. And we absolutely look forward to connecting with you and everyone else this week. Thank you.
Yep. Kitty shiny vision. So good to me. That's good. Yeah. Can you help me say thank you? Now can you help me say thank you? Yeah. Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you for not giving up on me.
For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. For your belief in me. And for your belief in you.
So baby, right on time. Anything you need, I'll be right on time. Give you everything, even my last dime. If I got it, you got it, we gon' be fine. Oh, pray for better days. Like Mr. Garvey, we keep the faith. Eyes on Zion, no time to wait. Don't say please, just let me hear you say thank you. Thank you. Now can you let me say thank you? Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. For not giving up on me. For not giving up. For not giving up on you. For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. I wanna say thank you. Oh, can you hear me say thank you? Hey, 'cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on us. Yes. For not giving up on us. Say thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you for not giving up on me. Thank you.
Bankable Businesses program to help us develop financial skills and to get loan ready.
Wait, so you're saying this program can actually help me get a loan?
Yes, it gives us the knowledge to strengthen our business and an alternative pathway to qualify for National Bank's small business loans.
So you mean I won't just be walking into the bank hoping for the best?
Of course not. You'll be prepared, confident, and know exactly what's required.
Thanks to the Building Bankable Business Financial Literacy Program, I finally understand what my business needs to grow.
Now I know how to plan, manage, and position myself for success.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, very distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen. What an honor it is to warmly welcome you, distinguished diplomats, captains of industry, visionary entrepreneurs, and all stakeholders committed to Afro-Caribbean progress. Over the next few days, robust deliberations, high-level dialogues, strategic partnerships, and transformative conversations will take center stage and redefine the trajectory of Afro-Caribbean relations for generations to come.
Thank you for believing in the concept that not many people believe in. Last year, on the first day, I said to everyone, welcome to the beginning of your future. Today, I'm proud to say that we're in that future. Though our tongues may differ, our rhythm is the same, our vision is the same, and our voice is one. Welcome once again, and we absolutely look forward to connecting with you and everyone else this week. Thank you.
Honorable Samal Duggins, Minister of Sports, Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives and the Creative Economy, Miss Valencia Saida, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Sports, Mr. Randall Thompson, Acting Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources, Miss Delreen Taylor, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy, Mr. Jeffrey Hazel, Director of Sports, Miss Robertine Webb, Director of Creative Economy, Mr. Pierre Leibud, Director of Cultural Heritage, Mrs. Chanel McMaster Cranston, Assistant Registrar of Cooperatives, other dignitaries, senior government officials, distinguished guests, members of the media, colleagues, and friends, good morning. Good morning. My name is Azaria Vanterpool, and I have the privilege of chairing today's press conference. To begin this morning's proceedings, I invite you to please stand for the playing of the national anthem, followed by the opening prayer. Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning with hearts full of gratitude, thanking you for the gift of life, health, and the opportunity to gather here today in service to our people and country. Lord, we thank you for bringing us through the first quarter of 2026 and allowing us to witness another season of growth, progress, and possibility. We acknowledge that every good thing comes from you, and we are grateful for your continued grace and favor over our nation. As we begin this first quarter of 2026 press conference, we ask for your wisdom, guidance, and presence throughout these proceedings. Bless every speaker, every presentation, and every word shared today. May all that is said and done be truthful, productive, and beneficial to the people we serve. We pray for our leaders, for our minister, permanent secretaries, directors, and all public servants. Grant them wisdom, strength, integrity, and the courage to continue transforming possibility into progress for this nation. Bless our Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Bless our communities, our families, our youth, and all who labor daily for a better tomorrow. We thank you, Lord, and we commit this morning into your hands. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please be seated. It is my pleasure to welcome you to our first quarter of 2026 recap press conference held under the theme, Transforming Possibility, Delivering More. This theme speaks directly to the work that continues across our ministries. It reflects a commitment to turning ideas into action, challenges into opportunities, and what many may have thought impossible into visible, measurable progress. It is about proving that with vision, determination, and hard work, possibility can be transformed into reality. Quarter after quarter, we have remained committed to transparency, accountability, and keeping the people informed. And I think that deserves a round of applause. So today's press conference continues that commitment as we present the progress, initiatives, and impact delivered during the first quarter of this year. Across sports, agriculture, fisheries, and marine resources, small business, entrepreneurship, cooperatives, and the creative economy, we continue to see the results of leadership focused on progress and people. From infrastructure upgrades and youth development to support for entrepreneurs, growth in food production, and expanded opportunities for our creatives. The work continues and the results are clear. Today's program will once again feature concise presentations and visual highlights that showcase the meaningful strides being made across these sectors. Thank you for joining us this morning and for your continued engagement. And now, it is my honor to introduce a leader whose reputation has been built not merely on commitments, but on performance. A man whose word carries weight because time and time again, when he says he will do something, he gets it done. He is a leader transforming every sector he touches, whether in sports, agriculture, small business, or the creative economy. His credibility is rooted in action, his leadership grounded in delivery, and his focus unwavering in service to the people. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a man of his word, a leader of results, and our minister, the Honorable Samal Duggins, to give his opening remarks.
I'm always amazed at Madam Chair's introductions. Thank you, Madam Chair. But distinguished members of the media, permanent secretaries, directors, colleagues, and the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I bid you a very pleasant good morning. And I must also extend this beyond St. Kitts and Nevis to all listening at home or abroad, and even those that I know are listening all the way from Nigeria and across the continent of Africa. Good morning, good evening, or whatever time of day it is to you. Us being here today, I must say, represents, as you've heard, 90 days of work. Every 90 days we come before this federation and give an account for our service. Every 90 days. Let's consider that. We come and give an account. On 90 days of decisions, 90 days of execution, and 90 days of results. We come regardless, and we stand before you, and we give an account of the work done over 90 days. Now, for me, I want to say that that represents not just formality. It really represents to me true accountability and putting that accountability into action. Because I believe that leadership is more than just what you say. Leadership is also about what you deliver. And before I go further, I must recognize the engine behind some of this delivery. I recognize our permanent secretaries, our directors, and the hard-working teams across every department in every ministry that I serve. I want us to give them a round of applause for their commitment to the work. I say thank you to the teams. It is your commitment and your discipline and your belief in the work is what helped to move this country forward and upward as we are going. I must also take time to ask this country to join with me for 10 seconds in a moment of silence in honor of some of the persons that we have lost over the past few weeks, particularly Jermaine Chubby Clark and one of my own staff members, Miss Sonia Webb. And we pause for 10 seconds of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you for that moment, ladies and gentlemen. It means a lot to me because Jermaine was one of our lead creatives and Sonia was a very diligent worker within my office and my ministry. But let us get straight to the substance of today. Today we are here to discuss some of the major signals of progress that has defined the last quarter. Initiatives like our REAP agricultural insurance, which is not just a program that we've launched, but a whole paradigm shift. You see, for generations, our farmers and fishers have been out there almost alone. There have been one storm, one drought, one bad season away from loss. And today we can stand here and say, we have changed that. We have introduced agricultural insurance that makes our farmers not just more resilient, but make them more secure, and more importantly, that has made our farmers more bankable. And this is part of our continued effort to continuing our investment in our agriculture sector, in our farmers, our fishers, and continuing our deliberate investment in our national food security and food sovereignty. Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand here saying I am proud to see the vision, the action behind of it, and the results that we have achieved. Today we will also look at initiatives like the Creative Arts Center, where for years our they have asked for space. They've asked for structure. They've asked for support. Today we stand here no longer discussing it. Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand here where construction has begun. Land cleared, excavation underway, construction and development of our Creative Arts Center well underway. I think that deserves a round of applause. Again, vision, action, results that you can see. And for me, this is construction of more than just a building. You see, this for me is the foundation of an industry. It is a home where talent and culture becomes a driver of our national development. The Creative Arts Center, we've started that from a vision. We put the action behind of it. And today, through the construction, we are seeing the results. We also will be discussing our continued expansion of our global reach to Africa, where this quarter we saw the largest commercial charter originating from the Caribbean region to Africa, departing from our very own Robert Llewellyn Bratcher International Airport straight into Abuja, Nigeria. This is not just symbolism, ladies and gentlemen. This is part of a wider strategy, a strategy where the results are already visible. Let us take, for instance, a local company, Mother Becky Teas, which secured its largest single export order to date through this initiative, moving over 3,000 units from St. Kitts Nevis into the Nigerian market on a direct charter flight from Robert Llewellyn Bratcher directly into Abuja, Nigeria. Last year, this time, I stood here and I spoke to this as a concept. And there were naysayers. There were persons who said, this cannot happen. Today, I stand here proudly saying that we have opened new doors and our people are walking through them. And that, for me, is the vision, action, and results that we are talking about. I want us to give Mother Becky Teas a round of applause as well for being courageous enough to take on the challenge and be the first export through this initiative. Let's give them a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, sports has been part of the heartbeat of this country. And this quarter, we've seen Basketball City rebuilt and reactivated. And we've seen the return of the Basketball League in that sacred space. We saw Kim Collins Stadium revived and in full glory. From primary school to high school, we've seen our champions on the track, and we had a chance to enjoy that in a ways that we probably were even more proud of than ever before. And tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I am looking forward to the matchup between our Old Road United Jets and Connery in the FA Cup Finals. We know our Old Road United Jets still stand undefeated. And I'm looking forward to see what that matchup will be like in the finals tomorrow. But while we celebrate and we anticipate, let us also celebrate the fact that it was this administration that delivered a brand new stadium to the people of Connery under the Ministry of Sports. Vision, action, results. That stadium was promised by previous administrations for years, not delivered. This administration has completed a brand new football stadium for the people of Connery. But ladies and gentlemen, these are not just isolated wins. They are part of a broader direction. They are part of a government whose focus is on executing and whose focus is on development. A government whose focus is on powering progress. And as we look ahead, we arrive now at a moment of national significance. You see, this year marks the 100th anniversary, 100 years, since the acquisition of Warner Park. In fact, I am told that the stone was laid on April 21st, 1926, and that the park was officially commissioned in 1928. So we see today, being April 21st, 2026, marks 100 years of history. It marks 100 years of national pride. And we are not just here simply to celebrate the legacy of Warner Park. We are here to redefine the future of Warner Park and the future of sports. Today, we will unveil part of our vision for the complete redevelopment of the Warner Park facility, a modern, world-class sporting complex being designed in collaboration with the SKN Patriots Limited and the various sporting federations that utilize the park, as well as the St. Kitts Nevis Olympic Committee. Shortly, through a video presentation, you will see exactly what the future of Warner Park will look like. And as I leave the podium this morning, I wish to say once again a big thank you to my team. Every quarter, we come here, and we give account for how we are moving this country forward. We open ourselves to the press and respond to every question. And we are able to do that quarter after quarter because we are committed to progress you can see and progress you can feel. And this government is committed to moving St. Kitts and Nevis continually onward and upward and continuing to power progress into the future. Thank you, good morning, and may we have a wonderful conference from here on.
This proposed redevelopment of the Warner Park Sports Complex, a project designed not only to modernize St. Kitts and Nevis's sporting infrastructure, but to accelerate construction accuracy, cost efficiency, and long-term national value. What you are seeing here is a fully planned digital twin of the future Warner Park precinct, where traditional tenders would normally arrive with spreadsheets and concept notes. On the other hand, this model provides complete visual clarity, ensuring that every stakeholder understands the design, the finishes, and the operational flow long before a single brick is ever placed. This stadium has been designed as a multi-purpose sports facility, with the cricket field forming the center of the attraction. Surrounding it, the development includes a football field, basketball courts, netball and volleyball courts, as well as bars, lounges, media rooms, and restaurants. This is a 360-degree redevelopment of 7 major sporting facilities unified in a single master plan that supports cricket, football, basketball, volleyball, netball, and high-performance cricket training. At the heart of the Warner Park complex sits the cricket stadium. The cricket stadium, now planned for a major modernization, features increased seating capacity, which was changed from 3,000 to a much greater 5,000, and is further supported by upgraded hospitality boxes, new VIP suites, improved player facilities, and enhanced media infrastructure that includes a dedicated 300 to 400 seat media house. Every stand, every circulation route, and every spectator amenity has been carefully modeled by our team. This level of clarity accelerates decision making, reduces guesswork, and protects the project from costly redesigns later on in the development process. On the southwest corner of the development, we find the football stadium, or the football pitch, which has received a full refurbishment. Seating has been increased from 1,500 to 2,500 and is accompanied by a new playing surface and modernized facilities for teams and spectators. On the northern side of the development, the original tennis courts have now been replaced with parking areas designated and designed to accommodate increased visitor numbers and improved foot traffic flow. This adjustment improves accessibility, reduces congestion during peak hours, and supports a smoother arrival experience for all users of the precinct. Warner Park will now also support year-round weatherproof training and competition through a series of new indoor facilities designed to international standards. Firstly, we have an indoor basketball center with 2 full courts and flexible seating. Secondly, we have the indoor multi-sports area, which comes featured with netball and volleyball courts. And finally, we have our indoor cricket nets in the cricketing facilities that come coupled with 6 outdoor nets and expanded training areas. These facilities elevate Warner Park into a multi-code, multi-discipline precinct capable of hosting tournaments, training camps, and elite development programs. This model truly is just more than a visual guide. It can be used as a tool for planning, for budgeting, sponsorship acquisition, fixture scheduling, and public communication. It provides complete clarity of the final outcome, helping ensure that every decision is informed and aligned with the overall vision. With this level of detail, Warner Park is not just being rebuilt, it is being future-proofed for athletes, for spectators, for governing bodies, and for the next generation of sport in St. Kitts and Nevis. Thank you for taking this time to explore Warner Park with us, and we look forward to bringing this vision to life. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Minister, for those inspiring and impactful remarks. This morning's address is yet another reminder that leadership is measured not only by words spoken, but by commitments kept. Time and time again, the minister has demonstrated that when he gives his commitment, he follows through with action. He said our sporting facilities would be upgraded, and across the Federation, we continue to witness those improvements taking shape. Let's give another round of applause for the minister. Now, I've just made an observation that the flyer is blue, our programs are blue, my attire is blue, and I promise it wasn't intentional to be repping the Montreal Farms Old Road United Jets this morning, but I just want to give a shout out to my team and wish them all the best in the FA Cup finals tomorrow. On a more serious note, we now turn our attention to our screens for the progress reports by our departments. And first up, we'll start with the Ministry of Sports.
The first quarter of the 2026 set the pace for a year of action in sport. Across disciplines, our athletes, teams, and programs came alive, transforming possibility and delivering more for St. Kitts and Nevis. Across track and field, the island saw a powerful start to the athletics season. The Department of Sports hosted the Zonal Championships, Champ of Champs, Jinxing Up Classic, Relay Festival, and private schools meet. With inter-primary and inter-high school championships culminating, the athletic season created opportunities for athlete development, talent identification, and national pride. In football, our national teams gained valuable international exposure. The Under-17 males competed in St. Vincent, the Under-20 males traveled to Curacao, and our senior women's team hosted Panama right here at home, strengthening the athlete pathway, building confidence, and raising the standard of the game. Cricket delivered major milestones on the regional stage. Desire Claxton earned her selection to the West Indies team, while Kunal Tilokani secured a place on the West Indies Under-19 squad, traveling to Namibia and Zimbabwe for the ICC Championship. A proud moment for St. Kitts and Nevis cricket. Basketball returned to center stage in a major way. After extensive renovation, Basketball City reopened as a revitalized hub for the sport, reigniting excitement among players and fans alike. And in tennis, our Under-16 athletes represented the Federation at the ITF Junior Team competition in Guatemala, gaining critical international experience and exposure. Together, these achievements reflect a system where opportunity meets preparation, and where athletes are supported at every stage, continue to transform possibility into performance and deliver more for sport in St. Kitts and Nevis.
All right, let's give a round of applause for the Ministry of Sports. And also this morning, we heard the exciting announcement regarding the 100th anniversary of Warner Park, a historic milestone for one of our nation's most treasured sporting institutions. These are clear examples of what it means to transform possibility and deliver more. Now we'll hear from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources.
During the first quarter of 2026, the Department of Agriculture continued transforming possibility into results, delivering greater support for farmers, strengthening food security, and expanding agricultural production across the Federation. A major milestone was the continued growth of local poultry production through the Barefoot Layer Chicken Hatchery in partnership with Taiwan ICDF. 500 locally produced chicks were exported to St. Martin, demonstrating the expanding regional reach of the Federation's poultry sector. The department further supported production through a seeds and agrochemical sale, giving farmers and backyard gardeners access to essential inputs, and hosted its annual planning and review meeting to strengthen coordination and align priorities for continued sector development. A key advancement during the quarter was the launch of the REAP insurance program, providing farmers and fishers with coverage and strengthening resilience against unforeseen risks. Progress continued on the Greenhouse Village initiative at Burleson Estate, a strategic project that will deliver 24 modern greenhouses to boost crop production, reduce imports, and support climate-smart agriculture. The department also expanded its international engagement with a delegation traveling to Nigeria to co-chair the Agriculture and Food Security segment of the Afro-Caribbean Investment Summit 2026, advancing collaboration in food security, climate-smart agriculture, agro-processing, and investment partnerships. These initiatives reflect the department's continued commitment to delivering more, strengthening production, supporting farmers, and advancing food security in St. Kitts and Nevis.
The start of 2026 has been about transforming plans into action and making sure the work we do at the Department of Marine Resources delivers real results. One of the standout moments this quarter was the handover of the Sargassum collection equipment, a project carried out with support from the United Nations Development Programme and the Government of Japan to track it, manage it, and reduce the impact it has on our shores, our fishers, and our tourism sector. We also continue to invest directly in our fishers. Working alongside the National Fisherfolk Organization, we completed another round of fish aggregating device deployment, bringing the total number now in water to an impressive 21. At the policy level, important groundwork was laid through the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding between the Government of St. Kitts and Nevis, Blue Marine Foundation, and Blue Conscience. This collaboration supports the country's push towards meeting the 30 by 30 agenda.
Strong emphasis was placed on fisher safety and capacity building through an engaging dive consultation meeting. This session empowered fishers with the knowledge needed to operate more safely and confidently at sea.
Another major step forward came with the launch of the REAP insurance program. For the first time in our nation's history, fishers and farmers now have access to insurance designed with their realities in mind. All of this points to a steady shift in how we are working, more action, and a stronger focus on getting real results that people can see and feel.
As we conclude the first quarter of 2026, the St. Kitts and Nevis Medicinal Cannabis Authority is pleased to share several important developments. Over the past 3 months, the authority has made steady progress toward building a responsible, well-regulated medicinal cannabis industry that supports public health, economic opportunity, and national development. During Q1, the authority welcomed industry expert Dr. Machel Emmanuel, who participated in consultations, stakeholder meetings, media appearances, and public education initiatives. This engagement reaffirmed the growing public awareness of and confidence in the role of medicinal cannabis in national development, public health, and regulated economic opportunity. We also participated in the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources Annual Planning and Review 2026 meeting. During the session, CEO Nadiv Mills shared the authority's strategic plans for the year ahead, highlighting ongoing work to build a strong regulatory framework and develop opportunities within the medicinal cannabis sector. The authority has launched its official website, sknmca.kn, which serves as the central hub for information on medicinal cannabis sector in St. Kitts and Nevis. The site provides access to the Medicinal Cannabis Act, statutory rules and orders, application forms, regulatory guidance, and updates on industry developments. The Medicinal Cannabis Authority has also completed its transition to a statutory body, and this marks a significant milestone in strengthening the sector's governance framework. The achievements of the first quarter mark a strong start to the year. With continued focus and collaboration, the authority remains committed to transforming possibility, delivering more for St. Kitts and Nevis.
All right, let's give a round of applause for the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources. I must at this time extend apologies on behalf of the CEO for the St. Kitts Nevis Medicinal Cannabis Authority, Mr. Nadiv Mills, who is away on government business, and also Ms. Shannon Hawley, Chair of the St. Kitts Nevis Carnival Committee. Finally, is the Ministry of Small Business, Entrepreneurship, Cooperatives, and the Creative Economy.
At the Departments of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, we believe every idea has potential and every entrepreneur holds possibility. We are driving a new era of innovation, collaboration, and growth, transforming possibilities and delivering more for small businesses across the Federation. Through initiatives like AI in Your Business, entrepreneurs gain hands-on experience using technology to improve efficiency, decision-making, and growth, turning possibility into productivity. Through the conversation, we connect businesses with the TDC online platform, helping them expand online, access new markets, increase visibility, and go faster through the e-commerce where opportunity multiplies. Our community business meetings foster collaboration, giving entrepreneurs a space to share, learn, and access support because collaborative effort drives real progress. We also supported real market access beyond our borders. Through the Aquarian Consult Afro-Caribbean Summit, the department facilitated the export over 3,000 Medebeki tea quenchers to Nigeria, the largest single order to the brand to date. The milestone demonstrated that direct trade between St. Kitts and Nevis and Nigeria is not only possible, but already happening, ensuring that our small businesses are positioned and promoted on an international stage. At the Departments of Small Business and Entrepreneurship, we are committed to empowering entrepreneurs with the tools, connections, and support they need to succeed.
During the first quarter of 2026, the Department of Cooperatives continued its work to strengthen and promote the cooperative movement in St. Kitts and Nevis through key initiatives and strategic engagements. We supported the St. Kitts Farmers Cooperative in preparing to represent the Federation at the 54th Agriculture and Food Fair of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Their participation marked a significant achievement, with the cooperative securing 4 awards at the regional event. We also engaged in meaningful dialogue to strengthen the cooperative sector. The department met with the St. Kitts Nevis National Cooperative League to discuss the way forward, with a focus on enhancing the structure of the movement, creating greater unity and representation across the sector. As part of our continued commitment to grow and develop, the department worked closely with the members of the VARIC group to advance the process of formalizing their registration as a cooperative. supporting new groups as they organize and take their place within the movement. Youth development also remained a priority. The annual Junior Savers Workshop was successfully hosted with an increased number of participating students. The aim is to increase the sector's awareness and foster cooperative values among the nation's youth. In addition, the Immaculate Conception Catholic School, first place winners of the Junior Savers Primary School quiz, along with the rest of their class, enjoyed an interactive tour at the Gideon Force Cooperative Farm. At the Department of Cooperatives, we remain committed to building stronger systems, empowering communities, and creating opportunities that continue transforming possibility into progress and delivering more for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis.
What happens when creativity stops being a hobby and becomes an industry? That's the question the Department of Creative Economy has been answering since the inception of the department. In February, the department hosted the first ever Wilders Forum, opening the door for deeper conversations around defining, understanding, and protecting our musical sound. It brought creatives and cultural voices into one room, not only to discuss what our sound is, but where do we go next. But the conversation didn't stop at home. In March, several of our creatives traveled to Nigeria for a cultural exchange, opening doors for collaboration, connection, and shared creativity between two vibrant cultures, building the transatlantic bridge for creatives to be inspired and for industries to grow. And now, the stage is set for something even bigger.
The construction of the Prime Creative Arts Center has officially commenced. The site has been secured with perimeter fencing. Temporary huts and workstations have also been established to support ongoing operations. Additionally, the land has been fully cleared, marking a significant step forward in the development of this exciting project.
At the Department of Creative Economy, we are not just imagining the future of creativity, we are transforming possibility, delivering more.
Here's to the first quarter of 2026, because the Department of Cultural Heritage is already deep into transforming possibility, delivering more. The work on our national ICH policy draft continued with Zoom meetings consisting local stakeholders, our UNESCO advisor, and UNESCO officials who discussed the final touches to the document. Simultaneously, inventorying of our folklore continued for the nomination application for our masquerade traditions to become inscribed on the representative list for intangible cultural heritage of humanity. This inscription will give our folklore worldwide recognition, leading to tangible benefits for all. With video inventorying complete, a private screening showcased our recorded folklore speaking their truth, most critically, on how this heritage can be safeguarded. Although interconnected, there were distinct activities that overlapped, such as the visit of Avelino Stanley of the Dominican Republic. Cultural heritage assisted him in his continued quest to demonstrate the link between the Federation's masquerades and the Goloyas, which was transplanted into the DR by migrant workers from St. Kitts and Nevis. Our first We Village That for 2026 took place at Otley's Lodge, when the history of the area was lauded, togetherness encouraged, and development acknowledged. Watch out, your community could be next. The Department of Cultural Heritage has been transforming possibility, delivering more. This will be our trend for 2026. Talk about trending. We at Cultural Heritage are culturally yours.
The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee has successfully wrapped up Sugar Mass 54 and is now in overdrive for Sugar Mass 55. A grand prize giving ceremony hosted by the Honorable Samal Duggins celebrated the achievements of winners and participants of Sugar Mass 54 with over $700,000 distributed. Submission for entries of the Sugar Mass 55 slogan competition closed on March 24th, and we received an overwhelming number of creative entries. Registration for the Miss St. Kitts and Nevis Queen pageant is open until April 23rd. We have already received numerous applications and look forward to welcoming more aspiring ambassadors for this prestigious event. Our National Carnival Queen, Treasure Didier, Groovy and Power Soca Monarchs, Toriano Tubap Samuel and Brandon Cranston, National Senior Calypso Monarch Tariq Drew, and Gregory Mention Hobson, representing our Road March winner, New Vibes Band International, were invited to attend the Afro-Caribbean Summit in Abuja, Africa, which was co-hosted by the Honorable Samal Duggins. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity provided our winners with an opportunity to network, perform, and play a key role in the promotion of St. Kitts Nevis in the motherland. Stay tuned for more details about our plans for Sugar Mass 55. Follow our social media pages for the latest updates, announcements, and events related to this much anticipated carnival celebration as we transform possibilities and deliver more to you for Sugar Mass 55.
All right, let's hear it for the Ministry of Small Business et al. And so we will now move into the question and answer segment of today's press conference. Members of the media are invited to pose their questions. We kindly ask that you identify your name and the media house before speaking, and we kindly ask that questions remain within the scope of today's presentations. All questions will be directed to the minister, who will then delegate to the most suitable representative for a response if needed. For a smooth flow and to ensure everyone has an opportunity, we kindly ask that you limit yourself to 2 questions at a time. The floor is now open for questions.
Good morning. I'm Glenn Bart from Television Caribbean, Channel 40, the cable. Minister, I want to congratulate the ministry on the amount of work that's been done in the various aspects of agriculture and the creative economy and so on. However, I wanted to get some more details with regards to the agricultural component. What we're not hearing much about is the amount of reduction in the imports coming into the country in terms of dollar value, in terms of pounds or tons or whatever weight that you want to carry it for the various components of agriculture. We're not hearing much about that. So we don't really know how much percentage reduction is being gained by the amount of agricultural activity that we are doing. Secondly, with regards to the aspect of the Christmas sports, I would like Mr. Liebert, if he can talk to us about how difficult is it really to process the various necessities in terms of documentation. It is a very important thing, I believe, because similar to Brimstone Hill being declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it has value in terms of promoting the country for tourism and other kinds of things. So tell us a little bit more details about it, what is involved, and what is the expected outcome. What are you looking for? All right? I'll take those 2 questions for now.
I wish to thank you, Mr. Bart, for your 2 questions. Now, I will speak to your first question, and then I will have Mr. Liebert speak to your second question. But speaking to your first question, I must say you have been consistent here at this press conference since its inception, and you have always come here asking questions. There were times where we may disagree on matters, but nonetheless, we've always had very encouraging engagement. And today, nothing different. Now, your question about agricultural imports. I've recognized that there is some bit of a misconception on some of the initiatives that we've had in agriculture. We know that there were a number of players out in the society that would have given a lot of, to say diplomatically, that would have generated a lot of noise around agriculture. However, I think somewhere in that noise, the public may have become a bit confused as to what's actually happening from what is noise. And so I've asked the department and the ministry to put together a proper report that we will bring to the general public on the full state of agriculture currently, what has been done, where we are going. And I think that in and of itself will be the establishment of what you are asking for. But what I think the country also needs. Because you see, sometimes where there's noise, there's always room for people to be a bit confused. And because we understand what we have been doing, and we have been working from a systematic plan from the get-go, we also know where we are now, where we are trying to go. And there were areas where we believe we didn't move as fast as we wanted to. There are areas where we have excelled even beyond where we wanted to. But all of these areas must come to the general public in a proper way so that they could understand where we are regarding agriculture. But what I could say off that, you've seen some of it through the video. We have endeavored to fix the root issues within agriculture. We've studied the agricultural supply and value chain. We have seen where we have shortcomings. There are shortcomings in equipment. There were shortcomings in market space. There were shortcomings in storage, in understanding and expertise and training. And in every area we found any bit of shortcoming, we endeavored to find partners or the resources to ensure that we could support that. Everything from our relationship with Southern University, where to date we now have annually 5 full scholarships, and we do have students there studying, utilizing those scholarships right now. These are persons that will come back to our shores with the requisite expertise. Everything from storage, like I said, where we ordered 12 storage refrigerated units to expand our storage and place them around the country to shorten the distance between farm and storage supply. Everything from land preparation. We've ordered new equipment. You just saw about the sargassum management. We know sargassum is a major issue for our coastline. We've also got equipment through the support of the Japan government and the UNDP. But there's so many other areas that we've developed, and I think it's only fitting that we put it together properly and present it to the nation so that they could understand where we are, where we've come from, and where we're going. I hope that sort of answers your question and giving you scope on what we're doing.
Plus the issue of statistics.
Yes.
Because while you're doing things, what is the statistical evidence?
So that would be part of the initiative, to give a full statistical account. So that would be how we measure where we are, where we've come from, and where we're going. Okay? Now, to address your second question, I pass it on. Well, before that, sorry, he's down on this end. I pass it on to Mr. Pierre Liebert.
Thank you, Minister. And thank you, Mr. Bad, for the question. And I think it surrounds the level of difficulty in achieving our documentation of our Christmas sports, masquerade traditions. I think testament to the fact that it hasn't been done before on this scale suggests that it's exceedingly difficult, but not impossible. And we would have set out our target, our goal, which is to inventory our traditional folklore or masquerade traditions or Christmas sports, to build out our national inventory, and to make the case for them to be inscribed in the UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. And with that mission established, with the support of the Minister and the National Commission and our Ambassador Doyle, as well as our counterparts on NEVIS, the NCDF, came up with a strategy to seek the support of UNESCO in helping us to mobilize some resources and technical capacities to support our efforts to do this. Came up with a strategy which would engage stakeholders, again, across both St. Kitts and Nevis, from government to the private sector, to the community, to the practitioners themselves, and went about to engage with them, to express to them the significance of this initiative, why it's important for us to document thoroughly our traditions, not just for posterity, but for social and economic opportunities going forward. And so that our people could enjoy these practices for, again, generations to come. And they bought into it. Volunteers were engaged from various disciplines, videographers, photographers, writers, community members who committed their support to the initiative, went out into the communities to engage the practitioners, who were quite welcoming, all in evenings, after work and so forth, to thoroughly document what these traditions are, what they pertain, from music to costumes to dance to every aspect. So we pulled that in. We would have had to engage them over several months to refine the material, and as the report indicated, we presented our findings to them, and they further refined it. And now we have a fairly robust account of the traditional folklore Christmas sports practices that are currently alive, but as well as a number of traditions that are in danger or would have not been practiced in recent years. And the next phase is to provide support, continue to provide support for practitioners who want to revive or keep those alive. What are the benefits? Tremendous. As you indicated, Brimstone Hill has world recognition, and we tend to boast about that and put that out there in our marketing and communication efforts and invite persons from all over the world to experience Brimstone Hill. We expect similar recognition and opportunities for our diverse Christmas sports, not just masquerade, but as well as bull, mummies, Johnny Walker, and all the others. I think 9 in total that are still practiced, that we expect to gain this recognition and continued support and further investment in ensuring that they're stable, safeguarded, and alive for many more generations to come. I hope I answered your question. Okay.
Good morning, folks. I'm Troy Biff Mills, representing WinFM 98.9. Mr. Minister, I must congratulate you and your team for the work you have done and outlined there. And I think it deserves another round of applause. I say congratulations to all the national teams who have represented us and the achievements, as well as the individual winners. We've always been a force to reckon with when it comes to sporting, the sporting arena. Agricultural insurance. Could you tell us a little bit more of how it goes about, how you go about that, how it's done? John Doe, and I don't know, Philip says he wants to be a part of it. Insurance for sports. That is something we've always heard about. Persons representing the national teams, getting injured, being home, and not getting certain benefits, not being paid in some instances. So is your ministry looking at having something similar for the athletes of St. Kitts and Nevis? Thank you. And I have 1 or 2 others, but I'll come back later.
Thank you, Mr. Mills, for both of your questions. Now, as it relates to the agricultural insurance, I will direct that question to the permanent secretary, the acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. and have him address that one, and then we'll get back to your second question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mills. So the agriculture insurance is what we call a parametric insurance, right? And that insurance, the premium is being paid by the government. And as a parametric insurance, as long as there's a trigger of that insurance, right, whether through tropical storm or drought, now the government then will receive a payout. From that payout, government does the assessment of how farmers, fishers have been affected, those who have been impacted, and then the government now is able now to move forward and assist them based on the results of that assessment. So, in truth, all farmers, fishers who are registered and who have vessels, I would say, are able to will be benefiting from the insurance, okay? And that we expect to carry on for the first 2 years, and after that, you know, they may be able to have a chance to buy into it at some point, okay? Thank you.
If I may just add to that as well, independent farmers can buy into it now that we've created a baseline. Because insurance works where you must have a certain threshold. The government has already met that threshold in our payments. So if Mr. Biff is a farmer who has specific needs to his farm, he can now sit on that baseline that the government has developed and further insure his personal farm by inputting into the policy. So there's still room for independent farmers to further insure their own farms accordingly. So there's that as well, because we've covered the baseline as a government. Yes. Second question, you asked about insurance in sports. Now, as an avid sports enthusiast, and I could go on and list in the many areas that you partake in, you do understand the complexity of our sporting infrastructure. And I think you served as, well, it wasn't in sports, but I think within the ministry at one point, you served as director. Yes. Now, many of our teams are not necessarily representing the government. You know that. They represent the sporting federation. So whether it is the FA for football, the Volleyball Association for volleyball, Cricket Association for cricket, and so forth, which creates complexities in that where the government isn't the body responsible for the actual team. And as a minister, it's difficult explaining this to the general public because a lot of times people hear that our teams are traveling and it automatically reverts to the government, when most times those teams do not necessarily travel as a part of a government initiative. And you understand this. How we are able to put this together will require the sporting federations to take a leadership role as well in developing this, along with the government. Because we are not neglecting our athletes at all. But what we are saying, because the bodies themselves are duly responsible for our athletes, we have to work along with them. And they play a role in developing this infrastructure, which has created some of what has happened in terms of it not being done as yet, right? Because as we talk about volleyball, it's a very different association to netball and a very different association to football. And the same thing with hand tennis and table tennis and all the other associations. So it's really bringing everybody under some consensus and an umbrella that can work. And that has proven to be a little bit of a challenge so far. But I do hope and I do envision that the future will be better and we'll be able to do it at some point. And as one of the key members and leaderships on the Table Tennis Association, I do hope that you play a leading role in helping to bring that to the forefront. Okay?
On the matter of sports, in relation to the Connery grounds, I'm getting the impression that there is an issue with the pavilion, that the Conway Football Club does not have access to the pavilion. Issues about electricity, that the pavilion is running off of a generator while the lights are running off of the grid. If someone can just bring some clarity to that, what's happening, what is happening at the Conway grounds. With regards to the global reach to Africa, you mentioned an example with the T's, the ability to trade that is actively can be done. The question is now, how regular can you get that movement going back and forth? Because as it is now, you use a charter operation, but that could create its own set of costs in the long run. So what is the plan? What are we likely to see over the next few months, a year or so? And what other outcomes from that conference is likely to be of significant benefit to the creative industry in St. Kitts?
Thank you for those questions again, Mr. Bat. If you permit me, I will address the last first and then pass the question about the stadium on to the Permanent Secretary in Sports so that she could address that matter regarding the stadium. But currently, we have seen the charter flight to Nigeria. What I can say is that as of now, there is a proposed flight for July for the time frame where they will be active in the region here. That is the next proposed flight that we know between St. Kitts, Nevis, and Nigeria. The ultimate plan is to develop an airline that has regular flights between the territories. Those discussions are ongoing. In fact, I'm aware that even this morning there were discussions pertaining to that. So I am aware of that. How soon that will manifest, I am not yet in a position to give any concrete information, but I know there's a process that is actively ongoing about developing that airline. And so I do believe soon enough that will be a regular thing that we don't even have to think about it, because there should be an airline at least weekly, if not more regular, that goes back and forth. And I'm hoping for that day to come, where we could just consistently trade and it become almost an afterthought because it's so normal. Now, you asked a question as well about other initiatives. Coming out of that summit, we had a few initiatives. One, the MOU we signed with Native Filmworks. We signed on to develop 12 films about the African diaspora, where St. Kitts will be the leading entity and country behind that development. Now let me explain that in further detail. Africa as a continent, and Nigeria in particular on the continent, has developed Nollywood, which is now one of the fastest growing film industries in the world. We have now signed on with Nollywood to develop films about the entire global African diaspora, where St. Kitts is at the centerpiece of that development. So we will become one of the first registered entities developing films for Amazon, Netflix, and for further theater development within these films. And that we signed while at the conference. Coming off of that is also the fact that in June of this year, we are scheduled to see our participation in the first Nollywood film, where they will be filming part of African love story, which takes place between South Africa, Nigeria, and St. Kitts Nevis. And our part should be filmed in June. So that's another initiative coming out of this. The 12 films, as well as our feature in this film. The other thing is we also signed on to the Creative Arts Development Fund, which is a $2 billion fund, and I would let the director of the creative economy answer that before I go on to the permanent secretary in sports to answer your first question. So, Ms. Webb, I would invite you to give further details on the Creative Arts Fund.
So the Afro-Caribbean Financing Initiative for the Creative Economy is a fund where particularly creatives can use their IP. So for example, persons in music can use their music catalog to leverage it to gain capital, not that they're selling their catalog, but they're using it as like a collateral for a loan, so that they can gain their financing to do any initiatives they want, whether to reinvest in their company, whether to do other personal investments. So it has that ability. Usually what happens is that creatives, let's say persons who make a lot of money off of their catalog, they don't have the capital they need to do other investments, and so they sell their catalogs, which in short means that they don't have the opportunity. What if the music then blows up again in the future? The person who owns the catalog now benefits from you. So let's say, for example, a Bob Marley song, and let's say Bob Marley would have sold his song before he died. Now that person who has the catalog will be massively or significantly benefiting off of that music catalog, because we know the reach and how global his catalog is now. And so it provides that alternative than sale, and just allows more flexibility and more investment and leverage for creatives. And this is something that is done in the US and elsewhere that is now, there's a project directly to the African and Caribbean countries that will help us further develop and fastly advance the creative sector. But that is it in short. There's more behind it, which we will be shortly bringing an information session for our creatives to gain the knowledge and insight on how they can benefit from this project. So you will see that coming in short order.
Thank you, Ms. Webb, and I now pass it to Ms. Valencia Sider to answer your first question.
Good morning, Mr. Batt. Thanks for your question. Although the Connery football team has limited use of the stadium is still in what we call a retention period. During this retention period, the Public Works Department, or the managers of the project, would have created what is called a snag list of issues that they identified that still need to be resolved. So the contractor is currently working on the snag list. Once all of those items are addressed, then the stadium would be officially handed over for full and complete use.
I trust that Julie answers your question. Okay, you're satisfied. Thank you so much. Any further questions?
I must commend Ms. Webb and Mr. Liebert on the work they're doing in the creative industry and intangible cultural heritage. And it's nice to have seen the creatives, the actors in Nigeria. Hopefully the next time around there'll be other folklore involved to be participating. Recently, the Prime Minister announced some relief at the gas pumps. With the impact of that war on your ministries, particularly agriculture, are we going to be seeing any relief in that area for the farmers, fishers, etc., etc.? What are some, forgive me, you mentioned the sports. Sandy Point. Forgive me, I'm from SP where the best be. Hub City, hub. The tennis courts there, they haven't been used for some time because of the need of repair. So I'm putting a plug for them and inviting you, sir, to have a look at that. The courts in Sandy Point, the tennis courts that is. And I note I didn't hear anything for table tennis in the Warner Park development, so I'm suspecting that may have been an oversight. And there's been something in the media about agriculture's farmers being asked to move in terms of lands for housing. Could you shed some light on that for us, please? Thank you.
Thank you. So those are 3 questions. Now, regarding tennis, we have been in dialogue with the Tennis Association, not just on Sandy Point, but inclusive of Warner Park. As you recognize, they have not been in the plan for Warner Park. That wasn't an oversight. The Tennis Association indicated that to do tournaments, they need more courts than Warner Park could accommodate. And so we have been discussing with them a new location and a build-out of a new location that will give enough space for them to be tournament ready and be able to conduct regional tournaments here in St. Kitts and develop our young tennis players to the highest capacity. That also will include the refurbishment of courts around the country, inclusive of Sandy Point, Factory Social Center, and some of the others as well. So that is ongoing dialogue and planning towards how we approach that element for tennis. In terms of table tennis, what it did not speak to in the plan were the halls in the building that would accommodate sports like table tennis. And you should know because you are part of the planning sessions as well for this initiative. You sat in the meeting and gave your input as to what you need to see for table tennis. Okay, no, we are well in line with where we have been discussing. But those will be inside the buildings, of course, as table tennis is one of those indoor sports. As it relates to your next question, the relief, if we're going to see any relief for farmers. Well, what I can say, yes. So let's start with the relief itself that was mentioned. It touches everybody across the board. So the whole idea is that that relief covers across the board. If there's need for additional relief, we'll be assessing that, and then accordingly, we'll be addressing toward whatever assessment result emerge. And there was one other question I think you asked. Yes, the farmers. Now, we have a position in St. Kitts and Nevis that we have to acknowledge. There was once a time when sugar production was our mainstay, and all the lands were pretty much dedicated for sugar production, which is agriculture. Since then, we have diversified the economy, and now we're in tourism, we're in different services. More and more of our people need homes, and we are trying to develop communities, commercial centers. The land base has not changed. It's the same 68 square miles, but we have more demand for its usage. So what the government has done over the years is zone some of these areas. So there are zones for housing, there are zones for commercial development, zones for tourism, zones for agriculture. What we have over time is where some farmers tend to start cultivating lands and develop farms. And we applaud that because we are asking people to get into agriculture. But what we are saying to our farmers is be careful to ensure that you are cultivating within an agriculture zone. Because while it may take 10, 15, 20 years, at some point, that zone will be required for its intended use. And what we are seeing now is where some of these zones are being required for the intended use that they were zoned for. And some of these farmers are planting in areas that are not designated agricultural areas. And so what we are doing now is realigning these farmers to agricultural lands so that they can develop lands in their zones and the country could progress accordingly. And it's a challenging endeavor because you're moving from a fully agricultural-based society into a diversified society, and you want to make space for everybody. But there's always going to be some cleaning up to do. And I think what we are seeing now is some of that cleaning up, unfortunately. But hopefully, we'll relocate these farmers in a suitable area soon enough and get all of this going, and our farmers could continue plying their trade while the nation continues to develop in the path that we see fit. And I trust that answers your question, unless the director or the PS wants to. All right.
Given the fact that you have just said that, and we all acknowledge that the land is a specific size, and you have needs from all these different categories, housing and so on. How does that now affect the agricultural development policy in terms of what will be the way forward to ensure that we can increase our production within the limited land space that we have? I'd like someone to speak to that as well. Creative Arts Conference. I think, was it last year there was a Creative Arts Conference? Is there a plan for one this year? And what would be the key goals of this year's conference? What would you like to see happen? What would you like to see come out of that conference to the benefit of the participants as well as the country?
Thank you for both of those questions again, Mr. Bat. Let me answer the last one first, because I think that's easier to get out of the way and get into the discussion on the agricultural lands. Now, regarding the Creative Arts Conference, we did say that we'll do every 2 years. The second edition was scheduled, of course, this is the second year. However, we looked at the annual calendar of events that is happening right now, and with having the conference in July and then the independence celebrations in September, we thought logistically it would be a bit challenging trying to fit it in between those two. And so we have already opted to do it first quarter 2027. So what should have been scheduled this year is now going to be first quarter 2027, where there's a bit more clarity in the calendar space and we could focus on delivering a high quality event. But in terms of what we expect is to continue developing our creatives. You see, this is a very systematic approach to further development and national diversification. And we see the creative space as a space that our players, our creatives, could dominate on a global scale. But to do that effectively, they need to understand the global creative sector. And that is why we bring industry professionals from around the globe to impact that knowledge and that experience on our creatives, because they may not have the capacity or the resources to fly to every conference around the world. So we bring these facilitators to St. Kitts so that they have that first-hand experience in getting that knowledge and expertise. And then they can now go and apply their trade wherever in the world. And we've seen that developing. And we want to continue that development. And that is why the Creative Arts Conference was born, and that's why we continue to invest in it. And I hope that answers that. Now, as it relates to agriculture and what you asked, efficiency. The whole idea of how do we continue to improve production will be efficiency. That is why we built 20+ greenhouses, to do more with less. We recognize that until we learn to create more arable land, we are stuck with what we have. And the only way that we could increase productivity is being more efficient. That's not rocket science. If you can't increase your land space, you have to increase efficiency. And so we've been training our farmers on efficient methods. We built greenhouses to support efficient methods. And we are doing everything within our power to make us more efficient in agricultural production. There's no two ways about it. Unless you know a way that we could create more arable land, there's no two ways about it. And so even our backyard, our homes, we are encouraging more backyard gardening. Why? We need to be more efficient with the lands that we actually have. We revisited our land lease because we recognize that there were lands leased for many years that are underutilized. And again, if efficiency will be our mantra, we need to make sure that these lands are properly utilized so we could be more efficient. And these are the things that will come out in the same report that I told you about. So all of this we will address in that same report, where we are, where we've come from, and where we are going, and statistically look at those features. So I hope that addresses your concern. Yes.
All right, so we have one final question from SKN Source. How important are exchanges like the recent Nigeria trip in creating real opportunities for local creatives?
You know, I really wish I had a creative that was there, maybe Miss Webb. Because, you see, I could say it as the minister, but I really would love for someone who experienced it in the creative space to give that full account. Because, truth be told, what our creative need, more exposure, more contacts, more insight into what is happening in the wider world. And we've had the reflections playing, and many of you may have seen them, maybe, and you heard firsthand from our creatives what it meant to them. We heard Vaughn Anselin talking about what it meant to him, who now has his art pieces displayed in a museum in Nigeria. We have Pierre Libert, who is here, who also has his art pieces displayed in a museum in Nigeria. Now, it means that everybody that walks into that Nigerian museum has a chance to witness local art from St. Kitts and Nevis, even if they didn't even know that St. Kitts and Nevis existed. And that is to begin with. The second thing is Nigeria, with a population of 200 plus million people, it means you have more eyes and ears than you could ever have in St. Kitts and Nevis to your artwork. That is marketing. We are developing market spaces for our local artists. And this is part of what this means. How do we move our artists from hobbyists into entrepreneurs that earn valuable livelihoods? This is part of that initiative. And we saw creatives perform. We saw photographers and videographers at work. We saw our drummers. I mean, let's talk about spirit drummers and the steel panists and the Makajambis, who were able to showcase to Africa elements of African culture that even some Africans never seen. And the steel pan. I remember hearing some of those in the room saying it's the first time they've ever seen a steel pan. They've heard the sounds, but they never knew what the instrument looked like. And so, as much as it is exposure for us into the open world, it is also showing the world who we are and the development of our culture from the roots of its African heritage and the additions that we have put on it as innovative people into what it has become today. And I believe that is invaluable by any measure. And I will continue pursuing avenues like this for our creatives and cultural practitioners so that they can expose themselves to the world and expose the world to us. Every chance I get, I will. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Minister. And that brings us to the end of our question and answer segment. I wish to thank the members of the media for their engagement and thoughtful questions. We appreciate the dialogue and the opportunity to clarify and share. At this time, we'll now hear closing remarks from our Minister, the Honorable Samal Duggins.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Now, today as I close, I think today's conference exhibited exactly what it means to be accountable to our nation and our people. We've seen the press come with their questions. These are the questions, I am sure, of the general public, because you represent the general public. And I am always happy to convey to the general public what we are doing within the ministries. We've seen the permanent secretaries and directors get involved in sharing with you as well the work that we continue to do. I ask all of you within St. Kitts and Nevis, and all within the sound of my voice, to recognize that national development and nation building is never an easy task. Charting a way forward for thousands of people on island, thousands in the diaspora, and hundreds and thousands to millions of persons who are interested in coming in to visit or invest is never going to be easy. Running a country will never be easy. But what it takes is commitment and dedication to the task. What it takes is vision, having the idea and following through on that vision. And Mr. Bart, I want to commend you for coming today and being a part of this, because it was last year at our quarterly press conference in April, where you and I went back and forth about the possibility of whether or not we could trade with a direct airlift from St. Kitts to Africa. And you were adamant it couldn't happen on the current infrastructure. Right? Okay, but that was the dialogue. Today we sit and stand here having done it 1 year after. And these are the possibilities that we talk about. Because in that dialogue, we learn, we grow, we move, and we put action to vision. And this is what this is about. And as a minister, I am happy to be a part of moving our great federation forward. And I'm happy to have a team such as this, who stand committed, dedicated, and who work tirelessly to ensure that every single Kittitian and Division child could be proud of our federation. So I say, thank you, team. Continue the hard work that you do. And I say thank you to the government and the cabinet of St. Kitts and Nevis for continued support in the endeavors that we pursue. And I say thank you to the media for your continued effort in keeping us accountable to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Your role is important as any. And every quarter, we'll endeavor to come here to share with you while you continue to hold us accountable. So thank you all. Thank you to the general public. Thank you to all listening within the sound of my voice. Yes.
All right, on that note of thanks, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this morning's first quarter of 2026 press conference to a close, I would also like to extend sincere gratitude on behalf of the organizing team. First and foremost, we give thanks to Almighty God for His grace, guidance, and protection, and for allowing us to gather here successfully today. To our Minister, the Honorable Samal Duggins, thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your continued commitment to transforming possibility and delivering more for the people of this federation. To our permanent secretaries and directors, thank you for your time, preparation, and dedication in sharing the work being done across our ministries. To the members of the media, radio partners, online viewers, and all those who continue to follow these updates. Thank you for your presence, your coverage, and your role in keeping the public informed. To our production team, photographers, graphic designers, technical support staff, and the communications team, thank you for the hard work that takes place behind the scenes to make these engagements possible. Your efforts are deeply appreciated. A special thank you as well to Nema for once again graciously hosting us and for your continued support. To everyone in attendance and to anyone I may have unintentionally omitted, please accept our heartfelt thanks. As we continue through 2026, may we remain committed to progress, service, and excellence. Thank you, God bless you, travel safely, and have a wonderful day and week ahead. Thank you, good morning.
Yep. Kitty shiny vision. So good to me. That's good. Yeah. Can you help me say thank you? Now can you help me say thank you? Yeah. Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you for not giving up on me.
For not giving up on me. For not giving up on you. For your belief in me. And for your belief in you.
So baby, right on time. Anything you need, I'll be right on time. Give you everything, even my last dime. If I got it, you got it, we gon' be fine. Oh, pray for better days. Like Mr. Garvey, we keep the faith. Eyes on Zion, no time to wait. Don't say please, just let me hear you say thank you. Thank you. Like can you help me say thank you? Help me say, can you help me say? Cause if you work from the day to the night, but you know that you still gotta fight, I wanna say thank you. Thank you. For not giving up on me. For not giving up on me.